An Aberdeen man is in jail accused of a wide range of crimes, including child porn, trying to hire someone to rape someone, and possession of confidential driver's license information.
DCI agents arrested Mark Charles Rathbun of Aberdeen, who worked as a senior driver's license examiner. Attorney General Marty Jackley says Rathbun faces up to 37 years in prison.
During the search warrant process, we uncovered child pornography, but we also uncovered photographic images of internal state driver's license information. Pictures, dates of birth, social security numbers, phone numbers, and other confidential identifying information, including addresses.
Rathbun is currently being held in jail with no bond.
Jackley says the investigation is in the beginning stages, and he expects more arrests in several counties in South Dakota.
A high school softball coach in northwest Iowa has been charged with sex crimes. According to court documents, 26-year-old Alexis Severson is accused of grooming the victim beginning in July 2024.
Between August of 2024 and May of 2025, Severson is accused of 3 counts of sexual exploitation by a school employee. Severson is no longer listed as a coach on the West Lyons School District's website.
A boy is dead and another arrested in connection to a shooting in Huron.
Huron police say it happened Friday in the southwest part of town. Police found a boy inside a home with a gunshot wound.
He was taken to a local hospital where he later died from his injuries. Police say that during the investigation, another boy was arrested in connection to the shooting.
Authorities say that because the case involves juveniles, no more details will be released.
Now let's get a check of our weather with meteorologist Scott Munt. Good morning, Scott.
Good morning, Travis. Good morning, everybody. A warm day today. Temperatures in the 60s and 70s for afternoon highs. We'll hit the 70s today in western and south central South Dakota. 60s for just about everybody else. And this happens with light winds. Aside for western Keloland, a northwest breeze in Rapid City at around 15 to 25. Brian will give you the rest of the forecast details coming up.
Thank you, Scott. For people without insurance, tackling the healthcare system can be daunting.
That's why University of South Dakota medical students host a free Coyote Clinic. At the clinic, they see a wide variety of patients.
A lot of our patients tend to come from individuals that want sports physicals for schools. If someone has an infection, they come to us. We've seen people who've had like heart issues. It's honestly just a broad range of things.
Recently, the medical students have had less patients come into the clinic, so they wanted to let more people know who they are and what they do.
The clinic happens every Tuesday from 5:30 until 7. We've posted information on the Coyote Clinic's address under this story on KELOLAND.com.
Monday was opening day on the college hardwood, and the Sanford Pentagon in Sioux Falls played a key role in the festivities.
The Field of 68 made its return to the Pentagon for a second straight year and featured 3 Division I men's basketball games, each with a local connection, none closer than SDSU.
If we're going to be doing an event in South Dakota, 40 minutes away from Brookings, it only makes sense to be able to make sure that they're involved. Their fans travel, they're loud, they're passionate, they have no fear. They'll play anybody. They played McNeese State last year, who was a 12 seed.
The Field of 68 is the podcast network behind the event, which saw the Jacks earn a 75-66 win over Merrimack.
Next up for the Pentagon, D1 basketball game number 100, as the venue will host Iowa State and Mississippi State next Monday.
Submissions are now open for the 6th annual Snowplow naming contest hosted by the South Dakota Department of Transportation. The contest draws 700 submissions from individuals, classrooms, and businesses on average each winter.
Submissions are now open and run through December 12th. South Dakota DOT staff will vote on their favorites.
That's a look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get another check your weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Brian?
All right, a weather forecast. Well, let's get started by looking at the bigger picture and what's going to be happening this weekend, because that's the weather that you're going to want to pay attention to. Okay, so let's begin by looking at the surface maps. We've got a Clipper type system. I'll put this in the Alberta Clipper family. It's really the first one of the season that looks a little stronger for us, and it does have a polar connection. Yep, using that vocabulary, that's also going to grab our attention a little bit. So on Friday, most of Keloland's going to be on the southern side of this. So we still expect a rebound into the 50s. We'll start picking up some wind. We're definitely going to talk more about wind on Saturday as this whole system will rush in from the northwest. Now, remember that on Saturday, temperatures, the tricky part is the timing. Always the case when you deal with northwest flow. Timing is a big challenge, but at this point, we're going to assume that we'll be warm enough for any rain showers in the morning, and then the low pressure track, which I will debate, I think on this map is probably a little bit too far to the east. I would argue that that's probably going to be adjusted. Also, I think that there's plenty of cold circulating back into this pattern on Sunday. We've lowered our high in Sioux Falls. We're going to go some mid-30s, and sure enough, there could be a little bit of snow in the air on Sunday, as well as this very chilly, cold air mass comes on in. It's probably going to linger into Monday. Then after that, well, yeah, then we're going to go back to warmer weather. So don't worry about winter starting. This is just a little test run of some things here. And in fact, the middle of next week could end up being very mild again. So not concerned about that. A little snow to the left of the storm track. This is, again, going back to the important item of where does this little system go? And we'll debate this through the week. I'm sure there'll be some adjustments to this. But I did want to show you the European model track, which comes right out of Alberta, and then it comes down through central South Dakota. There is a little snow to the left of the storm track, a little more up here in North Dakota. The rest of this is just kind of work in progress. We're just seeing, kind of testing our waters here on this, seeing if there is enough evidence to support a little more snow in the forecast. The AI version of the European model is actually back a little farther to the west, would actually drag down maybe some snow chances a little farther south. This is not a snow forecast yet. There are no numbers on here. I'm not going to do that yet. We don't typically go into that until we get closer to the weekend. And a lot of times Alberta clippers are kind of known for some nuisance snows. Okay, so that's what we know today, and we'll keep checking back in through the week. Enjoy these 60s and 70s today. That's nice and mild. Mid-50s tomorrow, 60 on Thursday. That might actually have to be raised a little bit. And then mid-50s on Friday. The weekend, that 44 Saturday's early, and then it drops and drops, and then we keep dropping into Sunday. And Sunday's just kind of a blustery, colder day. Might be even tempted to put a few more clouds in the forecast. Depends on the sunshine end of it. If we end up with some sunshine with that high pressure nosing in, that could offset the cold air mass a little bit, but it doesn't really, at this point, look very warm to me. I mean, we're going to have at least 2 days in the 30s for highs in Aberdeen. And it's November. It should be cold at times. Pierre, central South Dakota, mid-50s Friday. We're going to see that drop. Not as much as Aberdeen, and that's also true for Rapid City. We'll see where that 60 lands on Monday. That might be delayed a day, but it will warm up next week. I have no doubt about that. More details online at KELOLAND.com.